Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Cheyenne, and in this video I'm gonna be talking about how I learned Japanese in high school without studying. So I spent 3 years studying Japanese in high school, and that's when I really started to actually learn the language, because before I was kind of self-studying, but I wasn't really doing it properly. Like, I would read the dictionary or like listen to Japanese music, but I never really took the time to properly learn Japanese. And so when I entered high school, that's when I really started to be introduced to the grammar, the Japanese alphabet, the writing system, things like that. So basically what sparked this video idea is I got a comment on one of my social medias about how I study, and I was just reflecting on my journey in high school, and I was like, I just realized that I never studied, and I would get high marks on all of my quizzes, all of my tests, and then eventually when I took the state tests in order to graduate, I got above a 90%. And it might sound strange because it's like, how can you do well in Japanese without studying? But I remember I would have like classmates in high school that they would do really well in math without studying math at all, and I was always baffled by that because math is not my strong suit. And so I never understood how someone could do really well in math without studying. But then I just realized that myself, when it comes to Japanese, I didn't really study either. So I think it really just comes down to loving what you do. Like, if you're genuinely passionate and eager to learn, like I was very eager to learn, so anything that I learned in Japanese, I absorbed it in my head and I really took it seriously. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to retain it so easily, is because that was pretty much the only subject in school that I actually cared about. I didn't do that great in high school. Other than that, I was a pretty average student, and I really didn't care about any subject but Japanese. So I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to do so well without studying. Another thing is, even though I didn't study in terms of using flashcards and things like that, or studying with classmates, I still did all of my homework assignments. Like, I never missed an assignment, even though sometimes I would procrastinate because I had a bunch of other classes, and yeah, it was just a very overwhelming time. But I did all of my assignments, and so I guess you can say that that's kind of a form of studying. But I never really went over, like, I never looked over my notes. Even though I took notes in class, I never looked over them. And I also never studied with flashcards or anything like that when I was in high school. Now that I'm self-studying on my own, I can't imagine not being able to not study, because I kind of have to at this point, because there's just so much to learn and memorize. And I've developed a really good study method by using digital flashcards, because back then I never really knew about Quizlet, even though it was very popular at the time. I didn't use it that much except for like AP English, but I never really studied anything, and so I never developed a study method in high school. But now that I'm older and I learn for fun now and I take education more seriously, that's why I actually take the time to study and build like a proper study routine. So now I'm gonna share some tips on how I successfully passed my Japanese classes with really high grades, and how you can be successful in your Japanese learning journey by not studying, especially if you're someone that's busy with work or other subjects in school. You may not have time to dedicate to studying Japanese. And so I'm just gonna explain in this video how to learn Japanese without studying. So the first step is to spend at least 45 minutes just learning Japanese. So what I mean by that is, when I was in high school, classes were about 45 minutes, and during that time the teacher would just teach and lecture about different vocabulary words, the grammar structures, the sentence structures, and then we would also do other like interactive things during class time, but for the most part it was just the teacher telling us new topics. So basically just spend 45 minutes either watching videos or taking classes. I made another video about this website called edX.org, and on that website you can take a free Japanese course, and so if you want to do that, then definitely go check that out. But basically just spend time learning Japanese and learning new topics and grammar points and taking the time to really be taught Japanese for 45 minutes. There's a lot of free lectures online on YouTube that you can utilize. You can just type in like whatever subject, like for example, if you're a JLPT level 5, then you would type in JLPT level 5 lecture, or type in like a topic, or just search for different Japanese YouTubers and watch their videos for at least 45 minutes. So the next step is to take notes while you're watching a video or lectures or whatever way that you're learning the new topics in Japanese. So just have like a notebook or like a pen and paper and just note down what any highlights or key points that the YouTuber or teacher says, and keep track of that. Now, you don't have to look back through your notes, but it's just good to stay mindful and be active while you're, instead of just like sitting and like passively listening to what the teacher is saying. Using the note-taking method is a good way of being active as you're learning new topics. For example, if in the lesson the teacher is talking about a new grammar point, usually when Japanese teachers teach grammar or sentence structures, it's kind of like a formula. Like for example, they'll say A wa B desu, and it will have that format of how to form a sentence in Japanese. So when you see things like that, definitely note that down. And then also note down vocabulary words, like key vocab words that the teacher highlights. And yeah, so highlighting the vocab words and then also highlighting the sentence structure formula, those are the two things that you would do usually when you're taking notes during lectures. So the third way in order to learn without studying is completing the assignments. So a lot of YouTubers provide PDFs of the videos that they teach based on the lessons that they say and publish online. And then most teachers, even if when you're in college or high school or you're just learning classes online, they also provide homework assignments. So make sure you do all of them, because that's kind of like your way of studying. Since you're not gonna do anything else outside of doing the assignments, that's basically your only way of reiterating what you've learned. Because if you don't do the assignments, then you're basically gonna lose and forget what you've just learned. But the whole point of having homework, now that I'm older and I realize, is basically just to keep track of what you've learned and to refresh your memory and to make sure that you're actually paying attention to the classes. And it's a way of being active and making sure that you're retaining the information that was taught to you. I know, for example, the YouTube channel Puni Puni Japan has a website, and they always link the webpage of the mini lessons that they teach, and it basically just breaks down what they just taught in the video. So that's just one example of YouTubers that do that. But then if you can't find like homework assignments, then you can kind of just Google. I know there's some free websites that have like free PDFs of like hiragana or katakana or kanji or different grammar points. So you can also just look for worksheets and free PDFs online as well. So that's another way that you can also practice what you've learned. But yeah, that's it. Like there's no extra steps that you would take outside of that. Let me know if this method works for you, because for some reason it worked for me when I was in high school. But these days I do study more often and it is a part of my routine, but I definitely will try my old method because, like I said, I was very successful at it and I did really well in my Japanese classes and on exams, and I retained pretty much most of the things that I've learned when I was in high school. So I think I will try the method of spending at least 45 minutes learning and then doing like an assignment based on what I just learned, and also taking notes while I'm being lectured as well. But when it comes to studying and using flashcards, that only really works for memorizing hiragana, katakana, and some vocabulary words. But other than that, doing like worksheets and PDFs is the way to go, because you can't really use flashcards for like grammar points or sentence structures. I mean, you could memorize sentence structures, but it's better to actually put it into practice, like doing practice sentences or like speaking out loud or forming your own sentences. Like I know some teachers may like want you to write a diary entry. Like when I was in college and I took a Japanese 101 class, we had to write about our Thanksgiving in Japanese. So doing things like that is way better than just using flashcards, because that can only get you so far in terms of your language learning journey. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I know I'm kind of going on a marathon of uploading a bunch of videos about learning Japanese, but that's kind of where I'm at. I may switch it up and do other languages or other forms of studying. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And also, related but unrelated, I created a Discord server for Japanese learners, and there's a lot of different channels. Like there's study tips, there's speaking practice, there's a channel where you could ask for help, and then there's just a general channel where you can just share your thoughts about learning Japanese. You can share memes, music, basically anything related to Japanese culture and Japanese language. And I'm really excited because I never really learned Japanese with other people. I've kind of been on this journey on my own, but I want to change that. Like I want to level up in my Japanese journey with other people. So if you're interested in joining the Discord group chat, then I will put the link down below in the comment section, and feel free to join. Let's be friends. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos about studying, and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching. Bye.